Hey guys, what's happening? I actually didn't intend on doing this video today, but I'm going to anyway. I'm going to start by saying this will not be a full demo video. I'm just going to show my garage system off quick. It's overkill for a garage system, and what I mean by overkill is I have well over $1,000 worth of stereo equipment in my just for my garage stereo. And obviously that portable radio is just for show. But I have two pretty good condition JBL L100 speakers with replacement grills. Speakers, I overpaid for most of it. They were, I don't even remember, but the grills were well over 200 bucks to get replaced. It's insane, I know, but I love them. They're fantastic. That's just for show. As is my 80s boombox. That torch was allegedly my great-grandfather's. I think my grandma explained it to me. He did a lot of work with like pipes and stuff. That's an old torch. That's an old radio station sticker. College days. Federer's logo. I mean, I restore vintage AC units as a hobby. That I just use for an alarm clock, and I think it looks cool. And actually, for an alarm clock radio, it's actually pretty cool. Doesn't sound bad for what it is. Fisher 5-disc CD changer, DAC-196. I spent hours fixing that up. That was the one that was damaged. It must have been dropped during shipping. And the elevator, the plastic all fell apart, and I had to use epoxy and to kind of get it lined back up, realign the gears and like that. Real pain in the ass. Took me several hours, so I have a little bit of an attachment to it. So these are my garage system. Works pretty good. I don't have any CDs in it right now, but that's okay. I'm not planning on doing a demo anyway. The equalizer. Don't use it, but the spectrum analyzer looks cool. That's what it's for. Even if I did activate it, which I could, it doesn't do anything because the controls are set to flat. This is a 60 watt per channel Pioneer, model number SX-880. I don't know if you can see that. I just know what it is. Oh, there you go. Yep, SX-880. I got it off eBay for $350, I believe. It wasn't much. I definitely paid less than what they usually sell for, because it does have some peeling off of the veneer. Doesn't have any issues though. It plays nice. It sounds great. And the tuner is pretty sensitive. Not trying to get any freaking copyright strikes today. But yeah. It's a very natural sounding receiver, and what I mean by that is it doesn't, even with the tone controls, it doesn't really do much to color your sound at all. So if you have something that's lacking bass, like if you like I know a lot of the old Warner Brothers CDs from like the early 80s, some of them, not all of them, but some of them, a lot of them were like mass produced real quick. They wanted to get as many titles out as possible, and they kind of half-assed the mastering on some, and a lot of them lack bass. And you can mess with, if you turn the bass up too much, it sounds like crap. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll turn the bass up to like 3 and then use a loudness switch that I hardly ever use. It has some stains on the faceplate that I wasn't able to really get off. I messed with it a little bit. I'll take care of it again one of these days and clean it up a little bit. You have two sets of speakers, and this one here is different than the old Fisher RS914 I had out here, because I can run, if I have nothing hooked up to B, and it'll still play through A when I activate it. Usually when you do that, it kills the other set because you're thinking, I don't know, there's a technical reason behind it, but usually if you turn a set of speakers on that has nothing hooked up to it, it kills the set that does for whatever reason. I think it's the way it's wired up. Series, I think. But yeah, this one does not. And this one here, the other receiver I had, when I turned the outdoor speakers on, which are an off-branded set of outdoor rock speakers, they look like a rock. When I would turn a B on, it would kill all my highs. And in this receiver, it doesn't do that, which I really like. And I think this receiver is rated at 60. It is rated at 60. I know it is, but I think it pushes more than that. But the only thing that's a pain in the neck with this one is when I'm really jamming out, is like if, you know, middle of summertime, I got both sets of speakers running, and I crank it up like really high, the annoying speaker protect circuit will kick on way before, when there's not even any clipping present. So I could be pushing a lot. I could technically push it a lot further than it lets me if I got that professionally removed. I've had some people tell me not to do that, and I have other people tell me as long as you use your common sense, you're not going to blow anything up. Low filter low filter that just cuts off your frequencies below 15. Yep, below 15 hertz. I guess it's good for turntable rumble and stuff like that. I don't use vinyl, especially out here. FM muting, what that does when it's not in stereo mode, or if there's excessive noise, it'll just cut it off and it won't let the channel come in. As for functions, it's pretty basic, which it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You have AM, FM, phono, and auxiliary. Now, with that aside, here's your indicators for it. Show everything lights up. I've never tested the phono section on here before. I might do it one day just for the hell of it to say I did. Don't let that fool you though. There's also 2 tape inputs. One I'm using, I have for the EQ just in case. I haven't used it yet. I don't think I'll have to at this point. But again, I use it just for the spectrum analyzer because, let's face it, it's cool looking. So I might hook a cassette player up to here because I've been getting back into my cassettes lately. So I can use that for tape too. Balance is real tiny, but like I said, basic has a little notch in the middle, and it'll let you stop it there. Volume.
The men and women are trying to clear them. It's still snowing, and then the wind's blowing snow back over the roads.
Yeah, it is snowing.
Certainly a storm. It's a Saturday. Sit this one out if you don't have to go out. Stay home.
There's your signal meter. That's actually a pretty good signal.
I got a block of the Foo Fighters coming up, and I'm missing some requests here. But I don't know where we're going to go. We still have 2 from Cedar to get to, including Gasoline. 93.3 WMR, everything they rock.
Yeah, the VU meters moved to the music, which is pretty cool. I lived up in the mountains of School County. It's Pottsville area, so I'm about 80 miles away from Philly. And as you can see, that sounded really good. I'm locked in the stereo mode. The signal bar's all the way up. The tuning meter's a little bit off, but that's just my OCD kicking because if I have it dead centered, it's right on 93, so it's more like 93.1, and this station is 93.3. If it doesn't affect the sound at all, it doesn't give me any more static or any more noise, so I'm happy with it. The tuning wheel on it's pretty cool. See if I can get you focused in pretty good. Doesn't let me clear the whole entire dial. Like I said, one day when it's not quite so cold out here, I feel like messing with it a little bit more. There we go, we good? Yep, I'm right back in the middle where I want to be. Okay, excellent. It's, if you're curious, this equalizer, I got this off eBay years ago when I worked up at the Fairlane Village Mall in maintenance. It actually got dusted off a little bit. Sure, it was part of one of the rack systems. It's not bad. It does work. It actually works pretty good if you really want to mess around with your sound a little bit. Like I said, with the other big speakers I had out here, they weren't like the best. Like they weren't like hi-fi speakers like the JBLs are. So yeah, I would boost up the highs a little bit on it. I would find it to be necessary depending on what I was listening to or what the source is. I think I went over that already. It's a DAC-196. Hopefully I'm not completely boring you guys. If I am, I'm sorry. I just got off a work 12-hour shift and I still got 4 more in a row left. Then I got 5 off, so that should be pretty cool. But yeah, I'd like to show you the back of it, but I honestly do not feel like pulling this all apart right now. But I originally bought this receiver because it's rated for 4 ohm speakers, and before my JBL L100 Classics were broken in, I was having a really hard time getting the sound I was hoping for out of them. The only one that really did it initially was actually, believe it or not, that Panasonic Ra 6600. Now eventually, now that just might be because my ears weren't used to the sound of the speakers yet, but I ended up loving how my Sansui QRX 6500 pairs up. And then once I got my Marantz 4300, that was the one that really did it in for me. Now I have a 3-year-old nephew living with me that likes to get into everything, so until they move out, I'm not even going to bother hooking those speakers up out there because I would be heartbroken if anything happened to them. Like, he gets into everything. Actually, he's doing pretty good, though. He hasn't touched my Marantz or broken anything. So he's getting better. But like I said, just to be safe, I'm not going to move those up until, until it's safe to do so. And then I'll move my Norman Lab Model 9s I have hooked up down there, to the basement. Not that they don't perform good. They perform amazingly well. I actually have to do a video on those one of these days for you. They're amazing speakers. Awesome. I love them. But, yeah. That's about pretty much it with this Pioneer. It's pretty basic. I'd say overall the Marantzes are pretty much at least a 4300 compared to the 880. The Marantz is superior in almost every single way, with the exception being the FM tuner on this is incredible. But probably the best tuner I have, to be completely honest with you. And believe it or not, the only one that gives it any run for its money is actually the Panasonic Ra 6600. I know I praise that little thing a lot, but it deserves every praise I give it because it is awesome. You can get them for sometimes for less than $100. They crank pretty loud and they sound good with just about any set of speakers that you can think of hooking up to them. But yeah, that's pretty much about all I got. I'm actually getting pretty cold. I keep the heat on out here a little bit just so it don't get ridiculously cold because I don't like to leave my equipment, to freeze. And I usually leave these running in the wintertime. Like I won't turn this off until probably March. I don't keep it like 70 degrees out here, but I keep it from getting, ridiculous. Because I don't think it'll hurt the equipment, but I'd rather not take that chance. Like I said, I have well over $1,000 out here for my garage system. And like I said, it's my most used one and my least used one at the same time, all depending on what time of year it is. In the summertime, it's by far my most used system, especially being that most of my work is HVAC related. This is actually a 1957 Fetters I have gutted right now. That pan needs a lot of work, but honestly, on the days I've had off, it's been so freaking cold lately that I haven't even really been able to do much with it. Get the whole cooling system pulled out. I just so much to do and so little time to do it. Like as you can see, we got a decent amount of snow out there right now, so it's cold. It is. Like I said, I am not a winter person at all. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here, upload this for you guys, and I'm going to catch some Z's. As always, thank you for watching, and I'd really love to see what you guys think of my garage set. I think for a garage set, I think I'm doing pretty damn good out here. Like I said, I have no problem recommending this Pioneer to anybody. Like I said, pros, it's loud, it drives your speakers really good, it's not shy on power. The only cons I can really think of on it is the fact that it is a very natural receiver and it does nothing to color your sound. So if you play a crap recording through it, like I haven't had a bad sounding CD or any radio station I played, but I have played a few pre-recorded cassettes through a cassette deck, and some of them does leave a lot to be desired. But if you're doing all CDs or have a good vinyl setup with good speakers or FM radio, or even if you have a good DAC or a good streamer of some kind, it's gonna sound amazing and you're not gonna be disappointed, and you will hear a decent 3D effect. Like you'll feel like you're there. If you have this cranked up and you're standing back in between the speakers, you'll hear stuff shifting from left to right like there's no tomorrow, and it's just gonna rock your world. No problem at all. And like I said, my Marantz 4300 will make those bad recordings sound a little bit better than this one will. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the 4300 doesn't sound good with good recordings. It sounds amazing with good recordings. The only difference is the Marantz will sound, you can make a bad recording sound good, but with the Pioneer, it's a little bit trickier to do. Like I said, Pioneer and Yamaha, I kind of feel like are... and like I said, this is what my experience, yours might be totally different, but with my experience, the Pioneer and Yamahas are more like a natural sound. The Marantz will color it a lot, but still sound freaking incredible. And doesn't color it to the point where it's not what it is anymore, but it can make a bad recording sound good. And my Sansui is kind of like in between here. Like, it colors to an extent, but not as much as you can do with the Marantz. Anyway, I do apologize for my long ramble here, but I didn't mean for this to turn into a 15-minute video, but I thought some of you guys will appreciate it. So by all means, please let me know what you think, and yeah, have a good day, good week, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace out.